Hey everybody, this is Perch, and if you're keeping up with the, this video will probably get posted fairly soon. I've got a bunch of older ones that are sitting in this weird limbo state of they're about I don't know, they've got to be about a month old now, and I've got to start feeding them in because otherwise they're just going to age into oblivion. But they're sitting out there and I haven't processed them yet, so I need to get to that. But anyway, um, it's just that's the quality of the Perch show right here. Anyway, there's my car beeping at me again. Uh, One thing that's going on right now, if you're on social media, is there's this woman who was in a gym, and she was in a gym, and she's filming herself. She's streaming. I mean, the thing is a little confusing. So I saw this before I learned about all the drama and the controversy and everything surrounding it. But basically, the video shows her. She's upset because there's a guy kind of in the background of her filming, and the guy keeps looking over at her while she's working out. And she's like, "This is so creepy. I am being harassed in the gym. I should be able to work out without having people stare at me." And my immediate thought, and then later this my immediate thought became, I think, part of the lightning rod of the whole drama was, if I was in a gym and I go to the gym on a less regular basis than I'd like because I've been traveling quite a lot. Just actually got back from Vegas, but if if I was in the gym and there was a woman there or a man or anything the appearance is actually irrelevant, but they had their camera out and they were clearly filming. And the thing is, I think a lot of streamers don't understand that it's very obvious when you're filming. Like the camera, the image on the camera face looks different. It's clearly you're filming yourself. And yeah, that would draw my attention. I'm like, what is this person doing? And my immediate thought would be, I don't want to be in that video. I want to have my own privacy. And I don't know. I would be bothered by it. So that was my immediate thought. Now, at first, this video got some not praise exactly, but some support. People were like, "Oh man, yeah, it is terrible. Guys shouldn't be perving at you in the gym." But then fairly quickly, I think it got rebroadcast by some bigger names. It turned on her, and then it became, "Hey, why are you filming yourself?" And then everything that came along, like, look at this arrogant person who is look at this person who's just so obsessed with themselves. And I mean, it then spiraled hard. And I think that's where kind of we have it today is, definitely the tide has turned. I think she is, becoming one of the internet's most infamous, if you will. And anyway, that's what's going on. She got ratioed pretty hard and then the drama erupted. And then a lot of different people on YouTube started commenting on it, and then it felt like she was becoming Amber Heard light. And then and here we are. And as I was watching all this go down, what struck me was that how easy it is for people to get distracted by relatively stupid things. In the grand scheme of things, will you remember this woman in this filming at the gym and this shit 5 years from now? Probably not. Will you remember it 1 year from now? Do the words Coney 2012 mean anything to you? This is my feeling is that this is going to go nowhere very, very quickly. So then, and this is what social media is about. It's about dumb little things like that waste your time and attention, and that's just kind of how it goes. But here's the thought that struck me. Comic books are meant to be entertainment. They're meant to be kind of a diversion, if you will. They're meant to, kind of ignite the imagination and kind of the excitement of the reader. And comic books have this amazing advantage that I believe, almost nobody else has. There is, for all intents and purposes, an almost unlimited budget to do anything you want in comics. You could draw cosmic scenes. You could do slice of life. You could do anything. Comics are, if you have the imagination, by and large, and the talent, of course, don't forget the talent. But if you have those two elements, you could do anything, any story. I mean, God, if you had like Jack Kirby on your side, you back in the day, you could create entire universes and galaxies and everything else. So this is This is the power of comics, the power to tell any story. Movies and TV, they ultimately are limited by budget. You do have to actually film it and get the actors and everything else. Animation, you got a lot more you can do with animation for sure, but it is more expensive to produce and all the rest. So, comics are a economical way to tell any story that, comes into your mind. Pretty amazing. So, as a lot of us talk about, or a lot of people talk about, like, hey, what's wrong with comics? Like, how do we make comics better? How do we get things on track? And then you get the additional debate of, are comics off track? Maybe comic books are just fine, and it's just a bunch of haters who are bitching about comics for no good reason. I mean, sure, lots of different ideas. But to me, one of the most damning, telling things is the fact that a video about some woman who is filming herself at the gym is somehow more interesting, more exciting, gets more attention than anything going on in comics. Now, I'm being hard on this, of course, and there's a little bit. I know it's not apples to apples, and you can certainly spend time in the comments if you want explaining to me that dramas and the attention to one and comics and my point. Your point is taken. I'm being a little bit, not sarcastic exactly, but a little bit tongue in cheek here. But, one of the things that would help comics a lot right now is buzz. It's word of mouth. It's people talking about, hey, here's what's going on. What do you think about this? When comics was at its strongest, there was a lot of chatter about comics. People were very, debating kind of things. Even in more recent times, if you remember, I had a shop during this period. If you remember Civil War, how it was going to end. Would Captain America win? Would Iron Man win? What happens now? Spider-Man's unmasked. All this kind of stuff. All of it. People were talking about it constantly. There was a lot of activity about Civil War. People were all over that. They were very, very interested in the comic. And so, I mean, you couldn't go onto a message board and not run into people who were talking about the comic. Today, if you go onto message boards, you go on social media, you find people talking about some, dummy in a gym who's filming herself and complaining that people are noticing. That's what's got everybody's attention. If you go on social media, you'll find people arguing about if comics are selling enough or not, and you have people gaslighting each other constantly, going, "No, they're doing great. No, they're not." You have who is it? Comic Drake, I think, who has a big channel. He decides to spend his time and his energy and his power talking about how comic books in the '90s were homophobic and homoerotic. All the different homos all together. That's what people want to talk about. That's where the attention is. It's on that. It's not on hey, how's dark web going to end? Ben Riley's just been powered up and is now the king of limbo. Is that going to hold? Is he going to get overthrown? What do we think about that? Hey, the Beast is doing some pretty dodgy shit over there in X-Force, and he's cloning Wolverine. Is he going to get caught? Is he going to get thrown in the pit? Like what's going on? Lots of things that we could talk about in comics, but we're not interested in talking about those things. The comic books that have the power to basically tell any story, anywhere, anyhow. The ones that the imagination is so unlimited, it cannot compete against girl in gym filming herself. And for all the commentary about comics are boring or comics are woke or no comics are not woke or whatever, for all those arguments, to me the most damning argument against the content of comics, and mostly on this channel we don't talk about the content. I talk more about kind of the business models and how those are broken and kind of different things that need to happen there. I don't talk about the content as much. But if you are making an argument on a video that the content within comics, the actual writing, the art, the actual story, the thing you're buying, If you were to make an argument that we're off track and things are wrong and the content is bad, I think the best argument you could make right now is that the stories cannot hold the interest of people as well as Dumb Girl in Gym with camera, as much as debating who or is not a chud. I mean, look, here's the funny part about the entire debate over comic quality and everything else is if the comic books were truly getting the same kind of attention and buzz and interest and people really excited to know what was going on as it did for Civil War, let alone many other eras of comics, but Civil War, it wouldn't matter. The people who are showing up going, comics suck, they would get drowned out. Nobody would listen to those people because there would be so much conversation about what's going to happen next. I think about the various storylines. Batman's in an alternate reality. We've just seen the reformation of the Superman family. Green Lantern, we're getting some new comics. Are those going to be good, bad? Mariko Tamaki was on one and then disappeared, so all right. The Flash is in the middle of a storyline I'm enjoying a lot right now, the 1 Minute War. Over in Marvel, we've got, as I mentioned, we got a bunch of storylines in the X Office. We got this big conclusion to what, a 4-year epic that Jason Aaron's been working on. That's going right now. Over in Indie Comics, we have the return of Saga. We've got tons of different books. Boom, somehow managing to sell kind of 100,000 copies of some titles. Nothing. The buzz is nowhere. Dan Mora and Mark Waid putting out a comic people seem to like in World's Finest. Nothing. Very, very little commentary, very little buzz. It is very easy for everybody's attention to get diverted by Girl and Jim. So if you're making an argument that the comic content isn't where it should be, I think the good indicator is it's the multiverse. All of these amazing characters, decades of history, old characters, brand new characters. They cannot hold a candle to Girl and Jim. She's the pop culture winner. Something to think about. Thanks for listening.